Welcome to This Is My Circus, the podcast where we embrace the chaos and keep it real about parenting, pop culture, true crime, and the books we can't put down.
Because let's be honest, life is one big circus, and we're just trying to survive with caffeine, sarcasm, and a little true crime obsession.
So if you love unfiltered conversation, questionable parenting hacks, and deep dives into the things that keep us up at night, you're in the right place.
Buckle up, grab your popcorn, and let's get into the chaos.
I'm Stefanie.
I'm Meredith.
And welcome to This Is My Circus.
Did you like that? I felt like your little dummy and you were the ventriloquist when I was saying it with you.
Was I moving my lips?
No, I was. You were saying it. I don't know why I did it.
You know, when Dylan was little and I would feed him, and
I thought you said beat him.
Feed him. I would take the spoon and I would open my mouth and be like,
oh, absolutely.
And Brandon would laugh at me. He'd be like, why do you do that? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think it's like trying to mentally tell him to open his mouth.
100%. When I'm helping Ashley with the weddings and she tells everybody to smile or whatever, I do it.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And then she has some where she has people turn around and she's like taking pictures of their backs while they're looking at each other and stuff. And I'm like, make sure you're smiling. And they're like, we were.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I know.
I think it's just
our brains are just wired to do certain things, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
So how have you been?
I've been okay. I've been so freaking busy.
Yeah.
So I've been doing contract work, but they hired me on full time.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Vacation time is a huge thing.
Yeah.
So started that this week. Still trying to catch up from being off a couple days last week, even though I worked while I was down at the beach some. I wasn't in my environment. I felt a little off.
Right.
So just still trying to catch up and do all the things. They sent me 2 monitors, so I don't have to use my old one anymore.
Good.
Use theirs. So just spent time trying to organize that and get that together. But listen to this.
Uh-oh. Oh,
listen to, I had to sit up straight.
She like shifted her whole body to like straight.
Yes.
Story. Okay.
Yes. This is a story. So they send you all the monitors. Nothing's put together. Like the cords are just bundled, and that's okay. Like I can figure out how to do it. The monitors have like an arm and then a base. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, that base goes on the thing and then it connects to the whatever. You're smart too. You can figure out that, right? So I got the first one put together. I clicked the little arm in and then I took the screwdriver and I put the screws on the bottom. Perfect. Cords plugged in. Works. It's great. The next one I went, same exact monitor. And the one side of the base looks the same, but when you actually flip them over, they're just enough different that like the screw holes don't align and that kind of thing. So I even gave it to Brian. I was like, look, can you just give this a once over and make sure I'm not losing my mind? You know, I don't like going through the hassle of calling support for anything, let alone I can't screw this in. He's like, no, he said, I can make it work if we need to. I was like, I'll just call. Yeah. It's their stuff. They should be able to just send me a new one or tell me what to do. Like, whatever. So I called today, put in a support ticket because, you know, that's the process with these things. And I got a ping today. Hey, Meredith, did you get your monitor figured out? And I said, well, the monitor works because I'd plugged it in and tested that. I said, but the base does not fit properly. His response was like, huh, that's interesting. And I'm like, yep. And he's like, okay, well, can you send me a picture of them? Sure. So I send a picture of monitor 1 that works, that's connected, and it's got like 8 holes around it. And go to send the second picture. I'm like, this is the one that doesn't work. There's only 4 holes. That's self-explanatory in my mind. So he's like, oh, that's interesting. Are you sure it doesn't fit?
I didn't try.
Yeah, 100% sure it didn't fit. Are the arms the same? And I had the same thought. So I was like, yes, they are. I looked. And he was like, can you send me a picture of the bottoms of them? And I was like, well, the one already has the base on it. Yeah. And he was like, can you take it off? And those screws are so tiny. Like, it's just a pain in the butt. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I do that. I send them to him. Obviously different. He's like, okay. And he's like, I've got some right here. And he sends me pictures of the stands in his office in Ohio or wherever he is. And I'm like,
cool.
Good for you. I'm glad
yours work.
Yours probably work. Mine don't attach. And I just felt like he was mansplaining, you know, and I was like, dude, I can screw something together. So he kept giving me a hard time. And he was like, can you take the 2 bases, stack them on top of each other, and compare and make sure the holes are aligned? So, of course, I'm like, woosah before I was like, I can do that. But the point is that the one base still won't fit on the arm. Something is wrong. He's like, okay, well, do that. So while I'm in the process of woosah and trying to get to this, he pings me back and he's like, oh, I just learned something new today. He said, basically this, whatever this HP monitor is, there's 2 different stands that can go with the arms and stands. So how are we fixing it? So then I'm like, okay, cool. So can you send me another one? And what do I do with this one? And he was like, yeah, we'll send you another one.
Oh, that is so frustrating.
It was so frustrating. And I finally ended up saying that. I was trying to avoid saying it, but I was finally like, my husband tried to put it together. You know, I had a man help me.
Yeah.
I had a man with a screwdriver trying to help me.
Oh man, you brought out the steel.
I sure did. So anyway, that's kind of been, why are men like that?
I don't know. Well, I was walking Rex yesterday and I'm probably on somebody's Ring doorbell camera.
What happened?
Looking like a complete cuckoo bird. We were walking and there is the girl, maybe 10, was walking her little white fluffy poof ball. And the dog started going crazy at Rex.
Of course.
And
it's always the small dogs.
I know. And we were on the opposite side of the road. And so Rex normally doesn't even like bark back, but they just kept lunging like on the leash. And so Rex started barking and I was like, no. And I put him on the other side of me. So he's on the opposite side of like where the other people were.
You're being a responsible pet owner.
She stopped walking and I'm like, go.
Right.
This one's harder to control than how go.
Right.
So she stops walking. The dog is like lunging at like across the street. So nowhere near Rex, but like lunging at him. And so he finally had enough. And because I was facing the other direction, he like spun me around and I tripped while I was spinning onto the asphalt and he was still going. So he pulled me like a foot. So my knee is swollen and like, look how
it's very swollen. You definitely need to ice that.
Scraped my elbows, scraped it, like my whole side is bruised. And then the poor girl, after like all of that, she finally picks up the dog. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yes. You couldn't have done that 5 minutes ago. So.
Oh my gosh, Steph, I'm so sorry.
It's all good. It happens.
Make sure you ice it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it was.
That is very swollen.
Yeah.
Do they have a prom at Dylan's school?
They do, but he didn't want to go.
He didn't want to go?
Mm-mm. He's not like a...
I know. He's already like mentally, I think, moved on. I get it.
He said Ruthie wants to go next year, so he'll go because Ruthie wants to go.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Gotcha.
Hopefully they're still together.
You know, it's kids.
I know.
You know.
I know.
Never know.
But,
never know. Adults, you never know.
Amen. My God. Exhibit A.
So I met this girl the other day. I went to get my hair cut. And I heard the lady, one of the salon people, hairstylist, was talking to somebody else. I know words are not my friend sometimes. And she was like, well, are you going to get to go home? And she was like, well, how long of a flight is that? And And I was actually waiting for my roots to be covered up. So I was processing. And I was like, I'm sorry. Where are you from? Because I heard a little bit of an accent. And, you know, she was from Denmark. I've never met anybody from Denmark before. So, you know, so then she was actually getting her hair colored too. So we were both kind of processing at the same time. So, of course, I know all about Denmark. I follow her on Instagram now. I was like, please don't block me. So she moved here and she was going to Wingate College. She's been here for 4 years playing soccer.
Okay.
And listen to this. Her goal is, so she got a degree in sports management maybe, but she wants to do more university when she goes home in sports psychology. And I was like, what is that? She was saying that it's to be like a mentor to like elite athletes to help them like be placed almost like an agent / psychologist / counselor, like all those things. Isn't that a cool thing, though?
I didn't know that was a thing.
She said it's not really here much, but it's there. But
we don't value mental health.
We do not. We do not. Get out there. So anyway, we had huge conversations about everything. She was so kind. Her name is Sophia. She's my BFF in Denmark now. So she's graduating from Wingate, and I told her that I was a podcast person, so I would say hello and send it to her. So I'll have to send her the link when the show drops so she can start to follow us.
Fun.
But yeah.
Oh, it'll be another little country
I
clicked
know.
off the world map.
So our friend from Australia, my new friend from Australia, listened to one, I think, or something. So yeah, we're trying to get all the continents.
Let's do this, people.
I know.
Share it.
I know. We need Asia.
As long as I know how to understand English.
Yeah.
I'm not up to learning.
No, I need them to understand our English too.
Oh God, yeah. It's a whole nother ball game.
It is. It is. It is.
Have you watched anything new lately?
Oh my gosh. Yes. So on one hand, I'm yelling about how busy I am. And on the other hand, I'm staying up till 2 a.m. to binge watch a show.
What show?
So we're both Yellowstone fans.
Yes.
1923.
I've not watched it.
So I had watched the 1883 and I really liked it. I had tried to watch 1923 before, was not a fan, couldn't get into it. It's like, let me give it another go. Oh my gosh. All the feelings, all the emotions, all the things. Not a feel-good show. It's drama. If you like the other ones, one or the other, try it. It's good. Once you get into it, it is. But I did see that The Summer I Turned Pretty. There's another season coming out.
I still haven't watched that either.
Oh my gosh, I love that. How about you? Have you been watching anything?
Yeah. So there's a new series on Hulu, and there's only 2 episodes out right now. So if you're trying to binge, that's not the show to start.
I obviously need something with a 1 episode a week because I will just
sit there and It's called The Stolen Girl.
Okay.
I really like it. I just took a little blurb from Hulu. A seemingly ordinary decision turns the world of Elisa, mom of 2 young kids, upside down. When her daughter, Lucia, asks to go to a sleepover at her new best friend Josie's house, Elisa agrees. After meeting Josie's mother, Rebecca, she's put at ease by her charming nature and their impressive house. But when she says goodnight to her daughter, she has no idea she's about to be thrust into every parent's worst nightmare. Which was like, I mean, did Jackson like to sleep over people's houses?
Some people, only Jasmine, pretty much. That was like that was it. He never really asked to go to a lot. He would spend the night at his grandparents and then go to the Plumbers.
Okay.
And the Davidsons. But yeah, that was really it. Now he kind of, is different. How about Dylan? Did he?
Dylan, he really just, like, mostly Tyler's house.
Yeah.
He's still really,
right.
That's the only other place he sleeps. But yeah, that's about it. But just like random people, Dylan would ask to sleep at a random kid's house.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no. No.
So they can come here. Right?
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I know. I get it.
So this is the show that enacts all of your fears.
Okay.
Abduction, all the things.
Yeah.
And then like you get into the backstory of why this woman. Oh my gosh, so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My haircut girl was telling me about another show that's on Netflix, and I'll think of the name of it in a minute. Something Canyon.
Oh, yeah.
She said it's like Yellowstone and something else kind of mixed together. She said it was a good one.
Ransom Canyon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I have not, but it's on my
my list.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I have started a new show on Max.
Okay.
And because I saw a recommendation on social media somewhere for like binge-worthy shows.
Yes.
It is called Banshee.
Okay.
And it is almost like a cross between Sons of Anarchy and Yellowstone.
Wow. Okay.
It's not like motorcycle gangs, but you got that feel of like the gritty, but then you still have like, there's like casino stuff going on.
Okay.
And they've got like, all sorts of
okay.
Yeah, it's good.
Good. I'll try that one out. Oh, I don't have Max. I can do a free trial.
So as I was doom scrolling,
yes,
because you know that I don't sleep, I saw this picture of this man, and his eyes were literally like bugged out of his head. So I'm like, "What the heck is this?" And it was a Guinness Book of World Records.
Okay.
So there are some weird records in that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I used to just pour through it and look at it.
It's bananas. So the news article said that he made the book because he can pop his eyes out of its socket 0.74 inches. Gross. Before that, it was a woman who could do like 0.42 inches.
I don't even know how you can do that.
No. So his name is William Martin Sanchez Lopez, and he legit looks like a human cartoon character when they are surprised.
I'm wondering where they measure from. Like how much is extended?
I would assume. Yeah.
So, I have a background in ophthalmology, so eye stuff is fascinating to me, and I really do not understand how that works.
So I was like, okay, this is weird. I then went in deeper. And the longest time somebody held their breath voluntarily, take a wild guess.
2 minutes.
24 minutes and 37 seconds. How are they alive? Tell me how they're alive and they didn't held their breath.
I can't tell you that because there's no way.
It was a Croatian guy. I'm not even going to try his name. I'm sorry.
Try it.
Budimir Sobey.
That's perfect. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
24 minutes.
20 minutes, 37.36 seconds.
How do you not lose consciousness?
He had to be. He was cheating. Like, he was like breathing. Yeah.
I wonder how they probably put like a mirror underneath.
Maybe they tape it.
Maybe. Maybe they put a clothespin on it. That's crazy. You got another crazy one?
Yeah. Most snails on the face. First of all, why? Why was most snails on the face?
No.
Guess how many? It was a child, Ben Keller, age 11, from Sandy, Utah. Guess how many he had on his face? 143.
Oh.
Live snails on your face.
I do not.
Then I'm like, are they like the little snails or the big snails? Like, and how is that measured, right? So snails come in a lot of different sizes.
Yeah.
So are they the itty bitty tiny little teeny tiny ones that I find in the backyard, or the snails like escargot?
Yeah. I don't know. Snails gross me out.
Me too. Like the slimy. Oh, you have all the slime mucus all over your face.
Oh my gosh. That's supposed to be good for your face.
I know, but I don't want it on my face.
No. Yeah. Snails gross me out though.
Yeah. I know. No, I'm good on that. All right. This is a gross one too. And why you would volunteer, but why would you do this voluntarily? Most feet and armpits sniffed. Who would volunteer to do that? Right?
100?
No. Hold on. So this was done by Madeline Arbrecht, who was employed at Hilltop Research Laboratories in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is a testing lab. She has sniffed approximately 5,600 feet and an indeterminate number of armpits.
Does she like it?
I don't know. I didn't ask her.
People like stinky things sometimes.
I know. There's a whole market to sell your stuff on there.
I know.
Ugh. All right. So this one, I just thought it's funny because you always talk about my height shortness.
I just think you're so precious and adorable.
Look at this.
Okay.
Longest legs on a person. How long do you think they are?
Oh, 6 feet. I don't know. That's ridiculous.
The longest legs in the world belong to Macy Curran. She's from the USA, and they measure at 53.255 inches. I am 62 inches, 62.5. Her legs are almost.
They come to like your shoulder.
They're almost my whole body. Yeah.
I'm surprised that's a woman.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't assume anymore.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's crazy.
How tall is the person if their legs are 5 feet? Almost 5 feet.
Yeah. Well, I said they were 6 feet. Think how ridiculous that would look. Nothing but legs and torso. Or legs and a head. Whatever. Tell me why we do this again, because I can't speak.
It's like the monster.
Yes.
With just legs.
Yes. Yes. But yes, there you go. There you go. I used to love looking at the Guinness Book of World Records, though.
There's some weird.
Like in the very front, there would always be like the tallest person, and some of it would have pictures, and that was so fascinating to me, with like the tallest person, the shortest person, and then the longest fingernails
when they curl.
Oh yeah.
Mm-mm. Well, here's one I think that we could probably actually accomplish.
Okay.
And I'm shocked that it's such a low number. Most Smarties and M&Ms eaten in 1 minute while blindfolded.
Oh my gosh. I don't know what their number is, but we could do more.
22. That doesn't seem that much. And
I could eat 22 in one handful.
That's easy peasy. I don't want to be in there, though. I don't want people knowing me.
No, not for that. Would you want to do that? You'd want to do the sweet tarts with me? Or M&Ms?
I don't know.
Wait, it's not
Smarties-
at the same time.
No. It's like either or, I think.
Either, okay.
Yeah. I think because they're about the same size.
Yeah.
But the Smarties are kind of chalky.
Yeah.
So I think that would make me cough. If I was
Yeah.
just trying.
Yeah.
I just swallow them whole.
Yeah. Just chase them.
Weird.
Like, I really think I could fit 22 in my hand
Mm-hmm.
and throw them back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just be done.
Yep.
But again,
I'm good. I don't want to be in the book.
some of the people with some of these things, I would not want to be known for these things.
Oh.
Sniffing armpits? You armpit sniffer?
her life achievement.
Yeah, like what? That's just crazy to me.
Me too.
I don't know why this just popped in my head, but did I tell you that before we went to the beach, Brian and I were on a golf cart ride and we went past this little farm near us? Did I tell you this?
You sent me the pictures.
So there's a street behind us and we always drive by and look. They've got pigs and chickens and some alpacas out there and goats, like all the fun things. Well, it's called Happy Hooves and Feathers. Mm-hmm. Her son is on the autism spectrum. And so it's trying to help children with different situations that need some different stimulations.
Right.
So anyway, she was like, do you want to come and look? And she's like, established a 501c3. And she was, just talking about that. Baby alpaca.
The cutest thing. It was like, our llama red pajama?
It looked like that.
It did.
It was the cutest thing in the world. Its name is Noodle. And I got to pet him. I pet him and she was like, you can pet him. She was like, he likes it on his neck. And I was like, well, his neck's this long. I was like, which part of it? She was like, well, yeah, kind of near his chest. So I did it. And then he clicked his heels and ran away. And I was like, that's adorable. And then he came back. His face, he doesn't look real. Mm-hmm. He looked like a stuffed animal.
Yeah.
So I'm in love and I will be going back. I will either be making some kind of a donation or volunteering my time to help at this farm.
I can cuddle Noodle.
Does Noodle need a cuddle? And she mentioned she was getting miniature cows.
No.
Now, not the Highland cows, but just the little.
Dude, they get the zoomies. Can we do a field trip?
Right? 100%. Cutest little thing. Yeah. I was like, Stephanie will so love this.
Yeah.
All of the animal things.
It looked like llama red pajama.
Little eyelashes. And was just looking at me and his face was like velvet. Oh my gosh. I could kidnap Noodle. And that name.
I know.
Gosh.
Well, speaking of field trips, when we finally make it to New Orleans,
yes,
I just heard a very good tip from Witch Talk.
Okay.
Not Witch Talk, but I mean, it was in my feed. It was New Orleans something.
Okay.
But don't let anybody, and this is for anybody that is traveling to a high known place of other things, don't let anybody bump elbows with you or rub your elbow, because there is a belief that the elbow is a hinge and can, I guess, switch fates or whatever. So
is that why they say rubbing elbows? That is wild.
If you do, because they'll be trying to get you to buy something or do a reading for you or something, and they'll try to rub their elbows with you. And if they do that, then whatever your fate or your destiny is, it can transfer to that person. And then you'll start having their bad luck or their bad
misfortune, whatever.
Yeah. And they said it doesn't necessarily bam hit you.
Right.
Just things start going not your way. Yeah.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Who would have thought the elbow?
I know. I don't know. I was like, oh.
You've heard that saying, though, the rubbing elbows with important people or whatever. I'm going to go rub people's elbows. That is crazy, Steph.
I know.
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, me either.
I have had a lot of random things on my feeds. Not totally random because animals. Tortoises are all over it. There's a whole tortoise thing.
Well, they're endangered, aren't they?
I really don't know. As many people that have them and are on these pages, I don't think they.
Do you ever see them when they go through a wall?
They're huge. This woman had one yesterday and they had to build a retaining wall, a cinder block wall, and then wrought iron. What's the fence around the top of the wall? Whatever. Iron bars.
Okay.
Maybe bars was the word. Doesn't matter. Lock in. But their tortoise weighed 80 pounds and she would just bend it and plow through it. But this is adorable. The ones that are small, or if they've got a big roaming area, They'll put air tags on them so they don't get lost, so they can find them. There's like some kind of adhesive that it's sold that doesn't hurt them, and they'll tell you where to put them so it's not like on the plates or whatever. And then I saw one with like do you remember a koosh ball? Like a koosh ball somehow on top of it. Like, I don't know. But the things that I just find myself doing.
I've seen the videos that are in the house and they go, like literally go through a wall.
They are so big.
Yeah.
And you don't find out the gender until like they're like 3 to 5 years old and they
live forever.
Yeah. Like, do you will that to somebody?
You would have to. It's like a parrot. Like
right.
Parrots live forever. Did you see, speaking of parrots, there was a zoo that they had taken in 5 parrots that they were all together because the owner died. But
I know what you're going to say.
They swore all the time and they would make fun of people.
They had to quarantine them?
They had to separate them so they wouldn't encourage each other.
They were like the rogue parrot gang.
Peanut gallery.
Yes.
And they had to put up signs telling people, caution, if you have small children, the parrots will swear at you.
I did not see that much detail about it. I just saw like the picture and it was like parrots were swearing and had to be whatever.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Yeah.
What were they like roasting people?
That's the feel I got from the article. It didn't have specifics, but
Oh.
somebody in the comment section said that they had gone to that zoo and they said it was hysterical and they legit knew every swear word ever.
Oh my gosh. Gosh, that is so funny. That is hilarious.
I'll take one. So this is kind of funny. China is on the Petty Betty level. Did you see that they made, with all this tariff stuff going on, the Donald Trump toilet bowl brush?
No.
They made his hair the bristles of the toilet bowl brush, and then he's in all different poses. And you can either get it in a black suit or a blue suit.
That is funny. They're going to sell a lot of those.
I thought it was hysterical. You know, if it's petty,
right. Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So
that is funny.
I thought so too. This would be pure torture for me. When you go outside, you get bit by bugs a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I can walk outside for 30 seconds and I'll have
bug bites.
Yeah. Whatever blood I have, they love it.
I was going to say, they said it's blood type.
I'm O negative, which is like not very common.
I am too.
Are you?
I'm the one that can give to everybody.
And me too. And I can only get
they're O negative.
Oh, girl, I got you.
I got you. Wow.
Well, that makes sense then. If we both get bit by bugs.
Yeah, well, that was the end of that story. But I do get bit by a lot of bugs.
It's awful. Brandon never got bit by bugs. And I get welts. I'm like, well, that's because I'm sweet and you're sour.
I mean.
All right, imagine you're on a flight. And this flight was going from one place to another in India. And it was the day after Easter.
Okay.
It was invaded by mosquitoes. And the people on that flight had to sit for 90 minutes getting bit by mosquitoes.
That just makes me want to cry.
And the flight staff couldn't do anything other than like offer lemongrass, like
an oil or something to try to deter them.
Yeah.
I wonder how it got infested.
The article said that there was like an open window they got in.
That would be miserable.
Right?
So
they didn't look like they were little tiny, like the little mosquitoes. They were like big mosquitoes. Yeah.
When I was in elementary school, there was a field trip that some of the smarty pants kids we got to go on.
I would not have been invited.
And it was a few days. It was an overnight thing. We went to the coast and I don't remember much about it. Obviously, I was like barely on the cusp of making it into the smart classes.
That's not true.
So, but you did all the things. Like you found out about the history and natural resources and whatever. Well, one of the things is they told you bring bug spray. Mosquitoes are terrible.
Yeah.
I did, but I didn't think I needed it. I mean, I was like a 9 or 10-year-old girl. I came back and my legs were, just covered. Yeah.
I got bit by a spider while I was like sitting in the grass at Dylan's lacrosse practice, and I had Rex with me, so I wasn't sitting on the bleachers. I was in the grass with him, and I got bit on my butt. by a spider. And Brandon was like, I don't know if it's like the flesh-eating spider, because it wouldn't go away. It was like a good 4 or 5 months that it was
like a knot.
Yeah.
Do you want me to check it and see if it's gone?
It's gone now. This is like.
Are you sure? Yeah. Let me check.
You can see the bruise that's on the other cheek.
I already saw that one.
Yeah,
they're crazy. You know what else? And this is my own fault because I don't pay attention like I should. Surprise, surprise. I always gonna fire ants. And our property, we've got them because it's a field. We've got them everywhere. We'll put some stuff out on them, but there's so much space that we're in. It's hard to.
Do you ever get the cow killers in your yard?
I had before.
Those are freaking scary.
They're kind of pretty though.
No, they are not.
I think
I see them and I run.
You're talking about like the red velvet and the black stripe. Oh, I run too, and I kill them. But I think they're pretty.
Like, it'll take down a cow. I will die.
Yeah.
But I read it's like wingless hornets.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I wonder why there's so many different types of bugs in this world.
Why are they all in South Carolina?
Yeah. Why?
The first year we were here in our yard was one of those like horned beetles. And I didn't think that those were real. I thought it was just
the rhinoceros beetle.
And I thought it was just like the Bug's Life. Like I would see one in the wild.
And they shed.
Oh, I don't want to know about that. I saw it and I was like, that's a real thing.
As you ran the other way? Yeah, don't bug me.
Well, I don't do creepy crawlies, and I don't do like frogs and lizards and all the things.
Frogs, gross. I used to play with them and hold them when I was little, but they're so gross to me now.
Well, we were playing in Dylan's sandbox when he was like 4, whatever. It was like a scene out of Toy Story at the end, like the toys like coming out of the sand, and it was a frog just like started like coming out.
Oh my God, that would creep me.
Well, I first thought it was a snake, and I grabbed Dylan and jumped out of the sandbox, and then I realized it was a frog, and I still didn't want to get back in, but I wasn't as scared.
No, they're not going to bite you, but that's gross.
Awful.
Disgusting.
When they like cling to your windows. Ooh.
Yeah.
They're just like looking in at you.
We do have some of those bright green tree frogs. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. Yeah, I'm
good. No, thank you.
No, thanks. I'm fine.
No,
we're good.
We talked about Disney.
Oh, yeah.
Mental health.
That was last week.
Evaluation.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how I get signed up to these things, and I'm sure I probably put my email somewhere, but I don't know how I get these emails every day. This one is like weird but true stuff. It always has lists on it. Today, I opened it up, and it was Disney villain fan theories. And I love villains.
I've heard that before.
So I was like, ooh, I am intrigued.
I love these lists that they have. Until I start reading them, and then all of a sudden I get towards the end and it's like all the pop-ups and I'm like,
forget it.
Yeah.
Or you have to click through.
Oh, yes.
Those annoy me too.
100%.
Do you want to hear something?
Absolutely.
I only grabbed a couple of them.
Okay.
So Lady Tremaine from Cinderella. The theory is she's a Black Widow. Yeah. So it says, when the movie Cinderella began, the young girl's dad seemed perfectly healthy. Shortly after he married Lady Tremaine, he drops dead. This seems a bit too convenient for a single mother of 2 girls. So it stands to reason the death wasn't as sudden and unexpected as it appeared.
And what happened to their father?
It makes more and more sense when you think about it. Where was Anastasia and Drizella's father? He must have died sometime in the past, but maybe, just maybe, he was the first victim.
I never knew her name. Tremaine.
I've heard it, but I wouldn't have been able to tell
you. When you said the girls' names, I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I never heard that. But that I follow 100%. I have a Black Widow in my family.
No.
I will find all that documentation and get it together and we'll talk about it.
What?
I know. I can't believe I've never told you this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I need details.
Yeah.
Well, until we get that.
Yeah. Sorry for that little bomb drop.
Where was I? Maleficent assisted Aurora's mother to birth her. And says, there's clearly a problem between the people in the palace and Maleficent when the sorceress appears at the celebration of Aurora's birth in Sleeping Beauty. It's apparent by the way everyone stares at her in horror, everyone except the queen. The queen had a more nervous expression, and this theory attempts to explain why she alone reacted that way. Maleficent may not have been invited, but she had a lot to do with the child's birth, and there are a few reasons why this is plausible. It states at the movie's intro that the king and queen had difficulty getting pregnant, so it stands to reason that the queen might have turned to magic for help. She turned to Maleficent and promised to acknowledge her in the court once the child was born, but in the end, she went back on her word, and that's why Maleficent was so angry.
These are fascinating.
I know, and it makes sense. Yeah.
Those are cool.
Gaston is a representation of what the beast would have been if he had never gotten turned into a beast, which I could see.
You know, okay, this is going to sound really weird, but I feel like subconsciously I kind of knew that. Like, I don't think anybody ever told me that, but I feel like never mind. I'm trying to pretend like I'm really intuitive, and I'm not.
Listen, when I watch a movie, like, I watch it like at face value. I don't think that deep.
100%. 100%. That's why I'm like.
Everyone knows Gaston is a jerk. That's made clear the minute he's introduced in Beauty and the Beast. But what if there was more than that? This theory suggests that Gaston is more than a village jerk. He's a representation of what the Beast would have become had he never been turned into the hairier version of himself. Unfortunately, we have to call the Beast, whether it's the human version or otherwise, as he has no other name in the movie. Despite this, he was once a man, and he was a callous jerk, just like Gaston. The theory offers 4 points to this fact. They both have blue eyes. They can both afford as many eggs as they want. They are narcissists.
Whoa, in this day and age, that's crazy.
They are narcissists who are all about their physical appearance. And when Gaston died, a part of the beast died as well.
Huh. Interesting.
This one I've heard before.
Okay.
That Sid from Toy Story became the garbage man. You've never heard
I feel like I have.
Because he had the toy strapped to the front of the truck?
Yeah, it took me a minute to think. I was thinking Sid the Sloth. So it took me a minute to put all my eggs in a row.
So it says Sid may have been the villain of Toy Story, but by the third film in the franchise, he'd grown up to become a garbage man working in his neighborhood. In the first film, he's shown that all the toys he'd been tearing apart for years were alive, and he freaked out. 15 years later, he's a logical local garbage man, and he picks out anything he finds of value. For Sid, it's toys.
That is cool.
Yeah. This one, blew my mind. Captain Hook killed Ariel's mother.
Oh, I've seen that one.
I've never seen this before. Like many Disney princesses, Ariel's mother is long past, but right? Like, why are they always killing the mom? But suppose it wasn't due to natural causes. Many contend that Ariel's mother was one of the mermaids shown in Neverland before she married Triton. Sadly, she ran afoul of Captain Hook, who took her out. The fact that Little Mermaid 2 mentions Ariel's mom was killed by a pirate seems to prove this.
Wait, there's a Little Mermaid 2?
Yeah, I've never seen it, but yes. There's a bunch of Little Mermaid movies.
I just realized I never saw the live action Little Mermaid.
Neither did I.
I love the Beauty and the Beast one though.
Mufasa's on Disney Plus right now.
I need to sleep. What are you doing to me?
Oh, all right. And then this one is Gaston shot Bambi's mother. It's dark, but it makes perfect sense. Gaston is shown to be a master hunter who loves bragging over his trophies. In one journey, he sees a deer running and without a second thought takes it down with a shot. The deer leaves behind a child named Bambi. Yep, Gaston is the one behind one of the darkest Disney moments ever.
Wow, that's heavy, dude. Gaston's a bad guy.
He is.
But I mean, hunting, I have mixed emotions about it.
I do too. Obviously, would never be able to do it myself.
Right.
I get it if you're doing it for food.
Right.
If you're doing it just because you're a psychopath,
right.
Hard pass.
Right. Yeah, obviously doing it for food. And I mean, I eat meat. Like, it's not like I'm opposed to it. It's just, yeah.
I couldn't do it personally.
No.
I would cry.
No. Oh, 100%.
I wouldn't do it.
There is no way in this world.
And I'm so thankful for all the people that raise the animals so that I eat.
But
I couldn't do that.
I couldn't either.
Oh,
I could not either.
No, thank you. All those chickens, I'd have 1 million chickens because I would never be able to.
They'd all be named Noodle.
Scrambled.
Yeah. Yeah. Upside down egg. That's not a thing, is it?
Over easy.
Yeah. Maybe that's what is wrong with me. A lot of things.
Do you want to do Am I the A?
Mhm. Am I the a-hole for laughing at my stepson and ruining his wedding? It's a throwaway account. For context, I've been married to my husband for just over 20 years. We started dating when my stepkids were 5 and 3. Our kids are Adam, 28, stepkid number 1, Ben, 26, stepkid number 2, Charles, 20, David, 17, and Ellie, 13. Adam's getting married at the end of the summer to his fiancee, Alice, 27. They're named A, B, C, D, and E.
I didn't even realize that.
Okay, so Adam's getting married to Alice. I wonder if they have to marry somebody with the same.
I'm sure it's not required.
I'm sorry.
I'm sure it's not like written in their
Oh,
soul contract.
I'm thinking I did not take my meds today. That's so just starting to click into place now. We've all been very excited for them. All of the kids have roles for the wedding. Charles is the best man. The other 2 boys are groomsmen. Ellie is a junior bridesmaid. Last weekend, we had a dinner for my husband's birthday. All the kids attended along with Alice. The topic of the wedding came up again, and this is where it started to go downhill. Ellie brought up that she was so excited to go dress shopping and that we planned to go to a bigger city in a few weeks to get her a dress and me a stepmom of the groom dress. At that, Alice looked at Adam sideways and responded that we only needed to worry about one dress. Ellie's laugh said, "What are you expecting mom to wear, a suit?" Alice responded with, "My name, so stepmom isn't going. You know, we're keeping our guest list very limited to only family and a few close friends." What?
She's been in this kid's life for 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Adam and Alice have been to our house numerous times for holidays, dinners, and just to say hi since they've been engaged. This has never been brought up. Pretty quickly, things escalated. The Cliff Notes version is that Charles asked them to clarify if they were choosing to uninvite me now or if I was never invited. Alice confirmed the latter. Why? Adam said, "It's because I'm not his mom." Charles, David, and Ellie argued with Adam and Alice that none of them were going if I wasn't invited, that it was cruel to leave me out given I've been his parent for a majority of his life and loved him like my own. My husband and I admittedly sat there for a minute just effing shocked. Adam finally turned to my husband and said, "Well," my husband told him he wouldn't be going either. Adam then turned to me and asked if I was really going to let everyone ruin his wedding day on my behalf. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I just laughed. I don't know what came over me, but the entire thing was just so ridiculous that laughing was the only thing I could get out. I told my husband I'd be waiting in the car and left, and then promptly bawled my eyes out. Anyways, Charles, David, and Ellie are not talking to Adam. Adam called my husband yesterday to try to smooth things over. He was still adamant I'm not invited and it's their wedding. He also requested that I apologize for laughing at him. My husband told him, "Tough shit. It's their wedding day and they can invite whoever they want, but they can't control who will actually go." He said they owe me an apology and that Adam should be ashamed of himself. I'm getting texts now asking WTF I did and why I'm being a step monster and ruining the wedding. Am I the a-hole? No.
No. Okay. Okay. So is it Adam's mom that's saying she doesn't want, or is it the girlfriend that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All they said is that they're keeping the guest list small. She's one person.
Yeah. And it's the plus one.
Right. And the only reason I could see her not being involved is if that relationship with them was bad.
Right. But it wasn't.
Okay.
Update.
5 days later.
This is very new.
April 23rd. So last week. Hi, Reddit friends. Thank you to everyone who responded to my post. Most of you were kind and offered good advice. I appreciate it. Before I give an update, I just want to answer a few FAQs. Number 1, I'm not an affair partner. My husband did not cheat on his ex-wife with me. We met a year after they divorced. She was already engaged, not to current stepdad. Not that that really matters. Number 2, Ben was at the dinner. He is autistic. Okay. I went into it more in some of my comments, but he was very upset. He doesn't understand what the argument was exactly about, but he was mostly upset at Adam for saying I'm not their parent, and then at all the siblings for fighting with each other. Update. The short is, if you guessed it was related to bio mom, you are correct.
Oh.
I didn't want this to be the case. So Adam rescheduled with Charles for Monday, citing Easter weekend. Fair enough. He also texted my husband to let him know that he and Alice would be doing Easter with her parents. We expected that. At some point on Sunday, Ellie texted Alice, I'm not sure what exactly was said, but prompted Alice to spill everything that was going on with her parents. I've met them a few times, but they live a few hours away. They encouraged her and Adam to reach out to us to clear everything up. Monday, we dropped Ben off to Bio Mom's. He stayed an extra night for Easter fun. A few hours later, she began to blow up my husband's phone as Ben mentioned the fight. My husband answered one call in which she was screaming and promptly hung up. He texted her that the siblings argued everything's fine, and then if Ben has any further questions, we'll talk about it when he's back with us. From some of the things she texted, we knew she was the root of all this. Monday, Adam also met with Charles, and he did come clean. Charles texted us to see if it was okay if they came over after, and we said yes. I'm not going to lie, Adam looked a mess. He immediately began crying and apologizing. The short and sweet is that he's been trying to mend bridges with Bio Mom. Their wedding isn't 60 people. It's blown up to about double, and they have been struggling to figure out how to pay for it. At one of their visits, Alice let it slip, and Bio Mom jumped to help pay for things. It slowly snowballed from there, from small requests to big requests. I'm not sure what the final nail in the coffin was, but it ended with Bio Mom requesting I not be there. Adam said it was easier to hurt me and risk World War III with his mom.
Oof.
Alice's parents were less than pleased to find out how they've been with the wedding/budget, and even less so at Bio Mom's antics. They're trying to figure out how to start covering the payments Bio Mom has made. We've decided to help with some of this. Adam also asked if we could meet again in a few days with Alice, and we've said yes. There's still a lot of ground to cover for this to be close to mended. I'm still hurt, but mostly I'm angry on behalf of my son.
I'm angry on behalf of everybody. That's hard.
It is really hard. I'm glad that her parents saw reason and was like, you guys need to talk to it.
Mhm.
Let's talk it out. Let's, we're adults. Let's be adults. Let's get to the bottom of what this is and just come clean with what's going on.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for that. But that is just, talk about manipulation.
But like the fact that they would buy into that, call me crazy, but I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah,
I think that I would have had a conversation with the stepmom and the dad if I was the son and say like, hey, this is what mom's doing. I'm in this really weird situation.
Yeah, I'm sure it just...
Because to me, it came off like his fiance was like a total bee about it at the restaurant. Was like, well, you're just not invited.
Yeah. It sounds like it just escalated and got out of control and turned into this thing that was just spiraling. I'm glad there's some conversations. Hopefully there can be some resolution there and everybody will be okay.
I don't like that.
You are not the a-hole lady.
No, you're not. All right. Well, if you're not our bookies, this is your time to leave. We love you. Tell a friend to listen to us, and you can listen to us next week.
Yep.
That made no sense, but go ahead.
Okay. Bye. Non-bookies. Bookies.
This week we read The Marsh King's Daughter by Karen Dion. And I've got the blurb of the blurb.
Let's go.
Helena Peltier seems to live a perfect life, but she hides a dark past. She was born in captivity after her mother was abducted by her father, the infamous Marsh King. When he escapes from prison decades later, Helena knows she's the only one who can track him through the wild terrain he once trained her to survive in. Now she must confront the man she once loved and feared to protect her family and end his legacy.
I had read it before.
Oh, had you?
Well, not too long ago when I was trying to catch up on some of our books. What did you think?
I liked it. I think I was expecting more twisty suspense that I don't think was there, but I don't think that was the intention of the author, how she wrote it. So it wasn't like she missed the mark on that. I was just thinking that's how it was going to go. I
think that there was a lot of room for her to have to do that. To put so many of those things in there. There's so much more I wanted from this book. I want more details. All right. And obviously we're going to do spoilers. Yep. If you didn't read the book and you want to read the book, you can exit so you don't get it spoiled. Or if you don't care about spoilers, stay with us. This is on 2 different timelines. Yes. Present and then her childhood. And it was all told from her perspective, the child's perspective. Helena's, yep. So I think this was very accurate in that a child, if there's discourse, whoever, she was daddy's girl. So she was treating the mom just like the dad. And she thought that the mom was below her. And Well, the dad was fun to her.
Right.
He taught her things and he did things with her mom. I mean, obviously, because she had been an adopted child, was withdrawn and terrified and miserable. So Helena didn't know this. She just thought her mom was just bleh.
Yeah.
So she identified more with her dad because he was engaging and charming to her. There was nothing he couldn't do.
Yeah. And kids are so impressionable. And I think that's like a good take from this is that kids are so impressionable.
Yeah.
And it's definitely in this dynamic, it was way different than your normal, but it is still very relevant in how your kids see the interactions between their parents. And I think it goes one way or the other. Like, I don't think necessarily all the time the kid will act the same way of how that parent's being treated. I think, you know, if your kid is very sensitive or empathetic, they, I think, tend to then try to make up for that treatment.
Yeah.
So not necessarily that they'll go like all like psycho, like
right. Yeah, there's so many variables in with it, but it definitely affects. I mean, it's definitely a factor in how they treat other people and their other parent, or siblings.
Helena had no empathy whatsoever. And you think that these are like core things that you just have, but obviously I think it's something that you learn if you go by this book, because she had absolutely no empathy. Even after she knew the whole situation, she still had
none.
It was a little scary. I was like, oh, this chick's a psycho.
Yeah. You're right though.
I was waiting for her to become like a serial killer or something. Like, I'm like, where is the twist? You know,
where's it going to come from? She, but even as a child, like I'm thinking about to the scenario where the mom made the cake and had the made the baby doll for her, and she wanted nothing to do with that, and not just like, oh, no interest, but like she started shooting it with was it knife or an arrow? But
arrow, I think.
Yeah.
Going along with that, like she was so nonchalant about her father being so abusive. And even when the dude came at the end, she didn't think twice about the guy being like hung up in the shed, but in handcuffs or whatever, and like being tortured. She had like no second thoughts about it. And she was honestly like more curious going out there to see, and it didn't even affect her. So again, I know definitely a different situation than the norm,
right?
But still,
it really makes me think though it's just what she was exposed to, and what she accepted as the norm, right? And what she had. Just think of the time when she was put in the well with all the sharp things and she couldn't even sit down
for 3 days,
right? And I mean, she was like, well, yeah, that was terrible. I couldn't even sit down. I tried not to think about when there were rats in there, but just like no emotion, and it, maybe a coping mechanism, whatever. But yeah, it was like just very disturbing for me. So I'm like, oof. Agreed. Did it remind you a little bit of like a crazy version of Where the Crawdads Sing? I kind of mentioned that, but it was definitely felt like there was some vibe there that was similar.
So I felt so bad for her husband. Could you imagine finding out your spouse is a whole ass different person? Like,
right. So he didn't know that she was the product of this abduction
until the cops show up to tell them that he escaped prison. Right. And that's how he found out. And I could not imagine finding out that you married somebody that you didn't. I mean, she changed her entire story, which I understand because she doesn't want that connection. But oh my God.
So even things that are just very obvious. So she had a lot of self-made tattoos that her dad had.
We should say that they were Native American.
Yes. So she had facial tattoos and, all kinds of things. So even as an adult, she had these, and she made up these other stories. And again, I get it, girl. I wouldn't have wanted people to know he was, I don't know how I'd handle that, but I wouldn't want to be connected to him either. But she made up these outlandish stories to cover up the tattoo situation and different things like that. She would just leave and go hunt bear.
Yeah.
And she had her kid and left. She was like, I just need out.
2 weeks.
Yeah. I mean, didn't we all want to do that? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Those are the sweetest moments and exhausting. Yeah. I think that's also part of her disconnect with her emotions. Everything, I think, is tied together with how she was raised.
Obviously, yeah. But it still was like, I could not imagine my husband in that moment when the police came. And he was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Why do we care this dude's escaped?
And there was no beating around the bush either. Cops like, hey, Helena, different last name. We want to talk to you about your dad who just escaped from prison and his name is da-da-da-da. My friends on CSI are always like, can we talk to you in private for a minute? There was none of that.
No.
Do you remember in the book when he made a comment that he should have taken the other girl? See, I almost want to read this again from like his perspective. Had he been planning this? I mean,
I think he was planning on taking somebody. It was just convenient that they were there.
And was he just wanting them to raise this family? Or
well, he kept mentioning that Native Americans stole women from other tribes. And so he was manipulating all of these Native American
traditions
or history to suit himself.
Yeah.
He saw her and he took her.
Yeah.
There was definitely like a screw loose.
Oh, yeah. And then Helena bought the land of her grandparents, so bad dude's parents.
Right.
That is just like, what's it called when you're dependent on your captor? Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Ew, but then you had her maternal grandparents who were just trying to make money off of her.
Everybody was gross in this book.
Yeah, they were. Everybody sucked. Everybody sucked.
So my takeaways were, Helena's pretty much a badass. There's a lot she could do. She could shoot and trap and do all the things I have no desire to do.
She just doesn't have empathy for me.
But she does not. But she can apparently make good jelly.
Going back a little bit, she killed the dude in the shed.
Yes.
Which she was doing because...
It was like mercy.
Yeah, but still, she did it, and then she let everybody assume that it was the dad. And to have that for the rest of your life as a huge secret?
My thing is how did she know as what was she, 12?
Yeah, something like that.
Year-old child that had been sheltered and didn't really even understand the concept of police, that she shouldn't tell anybody that. You know?
I think she obviously knew. She knew it was wrong to kill people, and she knew she didn't want to kill the wolf. She said that would be like the same as killing a person. So she knew killing a person was wrong.
Yeah.
This was made into a movie.
Yes.
And I watched the movie after I finished the book.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see how they would, manipulate it. They changed the entire thing.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, it was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it decent?
It was okay. It was kind of like the same pace, I guess, as the book. There wasn't any like excitement.
Yeah, it was very monotone. The movie felt that way too.
Yeah, so much changed in it.
Yeah,
I was just like, that's not how that goes.
Right.
That is not.
That's usually why I don't do good with watching the movies. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. So
it should stay true to kind of what the story's about. If you're going to name it the same thing, it should be very similar. But anyway, what'd you think?
6, 5.
Okay.
5, 6.
Okay. I'd say 7 or 8. Interesting to me.
I think my expectation was like, I heard the kidnapping and that, and I was expecting something
like more intense, fast pace, some twisted stuff. And it was,
I don't think I realized that entire book was going to be from her perspective.
Okay.
Like we normally get multiple views and
our books usually are a bit more, you hear about all the different twists and turns.
So the next book, if you're cool with it, is No One Can Know by Kate Alice Marshall.
Okay, cool.
14 years ago, the Palmer sisters, Emma, Juliet, and Daphne, left their home in Arden Hills and never returned. But when Emma discovers she's pregnant and her husband loses his job, she has no option but to return to the house that she and her estranged sisters still own and where their parents were murdered. Emma has never told anyone what she saw that night her parents died, even when she became the prime suspect. But her presence in the house threatens to uncover secrets that have stayed hidden for years, and the sisters are drawn together once again. As they face their memories of the past, rivalries restart, connections are forged, and for the first time, Emma starts to ask questions about what really happened that night. The more Emma learns, the more riddles emerge, and Emma begins to wonder just what her siblings will do to keep the past buried, and whether she did the right thing staying quiet about what she whispered that night. No one can know.
Have you started it?
I read it already.
You read it a couple weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. It sounds good.
Yeah, I liked it.
Got it on Hoopla and downloading it now. So we're in N. We're halfway through the alphabet for the first round.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening.
Thank y'all.
We love you. Please leave us a review and tell a couple of friends.
Tell everybody.
Please.
Sing it from the rooftops.
We love you.
We love you. Bye.
Bye. All right, that wraps up another episode of This Is My Circus. If you survived this episode and somehow still like us, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, share it with your friends, or just send us caffeine.
And don't forget, you can join our VIP circus crew for the full video version of each episode. Also, exclusive bonus content, access to merch, and so much more.
Until next time, keep the drink strong, the book's coming, and the kids only mildly feral.
Because this is our circus, and these are our monkeys.
Love ya!